I grew up in a traditional Sikh household. My parents were born in India and they immigrated to Canada in the 70s, and I am the youngest of 3 children. Growing up, going to the temple wasn't something we did regularly. We just kind of followed cultural norms, which as a girl growing up in a Sikh household was to do as you're told. I knew there was a God, but I didn't really know much about him. God was somebody to be feared, and if you disobey, he would punish you. Living in the house that I did, I knew of him, but never really having any guidance in your life about whether I was doing right or wrong. And years being in that kind of situation, it really changes you. I went from a loving, obedient child to somebody who put up walls because I was angry. I didn't let anyone or anything come close to me. I became really good at masking my pain and masking my depression. This went on for years, like over 20 years. My heart was hardening, and I would cry out to God and I would ask him what I should do and if he would ever help me get out of these situations. And when I was scared, I felt unloved. Given my childhood, I wasn't really heading in the right direction. I was still meeting my career goals, but internally in my character, I was digging myself into a hole. But a few years ago, God brought me to Trish Davidson and Pat Henderson, the 2 most kind-hearted and God-loving women that I know. It wasn't until recently, when I was reflecting on my journey, that I realized that those days and nights that I spent in my room crying out loud to God, that he was actually answering my prayers. God knew that I was lost and I was broken, but he wasn't willing to leave me there. Through Trish and Pat, God was slowly revealing his character, which started to transform my heart. These ladies in my life, they have kept me and took me into their home when I had nowhere to go. The walls that I was building for years were finally being torn down. The anger that I used to feel, it's almost non-existent now. And the depression, which was kind of hiding in that background, and it was weighing me down for so long, that veil has finally been lifted. Being in a Sikh household, I think there's just always been a conflict of how my family would react to following Jesus, and I always took it as a way that I want to understand God, and I think this was the way for me to access him. And I just pray that my family would accept that one day. My initial journey, which just kind of came naturally, I was just asking Trish about God and what she believes. And I think just through asking, my curiosity and her kind of nurturing that. And I think through that process, it was like some kind of internal transformation that was happening. It was on October 26th when Pastor Nim had a sermon on what worship means, and it really challenged me. I was so moved during that sermon that I told him right after that I wanted to get baptized, but I was still conflicted because I was working every Sabbath. I made it an issue of prayer for me to not work on the Sabbath. It was weighing heavily on me that if I were going to proceed with joining CIV and knowing Jesus, that I wanted to honor the Sabbath day. God made a way. He presented me with another job, and I took a chance and I did get it. And now I work Monday to Friday, and every Sabbath now is free. So it kind of helped me to proceed with baptism. Everything, all my years of studying and seeing how God has actually transformed my character, everything was just kind of accumulating to that point. It just seemed like the next natural step to take. I wanted to solidify to myself and to everyone that my change didn't just happen because of my own doing. It was through His love and His support and His guidance. My story, it is a testament to how present and how active God is in our lives, how much He cares for us and wants to pull us out of our misery. He didn't want the toxicity of my past to spoil any chance of joy for my future. He saved my life, and no matter what will happen in my life or what has happened in my life, I know that He will guide me and He will strengthen me.